All right, hello everyone. So uh, this is today's weekly reflections and just thoughts in general. So I want to share this with all of you. This week it's a little bit on the responsibility considering it's the start of the new year. So our New Year's resolutions have kept us a little bit more responsible. Although I will be honest, if you did do the New Year's resolutions, the majority of you will probably not make it the whole year. Why? Because it's just this external drive, either from friends or just from the tradition of New Year's. As to you could have done this any other time of the year, but for some reason you had to choose now. So like, let's say you want to learn how to snowboard better. You don't have to wait till January 1st. You could probably try and start, the middle of July. I mean, yeah, probably there wouldn't be any snow. Well, go find some. If you really care, you'll you'll find a way to do it. You won't tolerate the fact that you can't do it. Like yeah, you won't be able to tolerate it. You will find a way. You won't just say, oh well. So, but speaking of responsibility, uh, we had a we were doing some. I did something today with an organization, where we were looking a little bit into like the metaverse and just like what it can do for us in terms of consumer and enterprise. And throughout the whole time, I was just like, oh no, like with the metaverse and just like with all this in general, it's like the perfect Trojan horse. So I just want to throw out my thoughts in here. If I get canceled for this, I don't fucking care, but whatever. So the thing with the metaverse and just like all this in general, it is literally in some ways it is the perfect Trojan horse. 85, I would say around a good 80% of people will enter the metaverse and not come back and not leave. Why? Some people it is, just the lack of, fulfillment, enjoyment, or purpose. And fair enough. Like some people don't know what they want to do with their life, or some people just like, what, screw it. I mean, and some people, just lack the experience in general. And then there may be the exceptions, like people who are probably have a disability and want to feel like what it is to probably skydive or something like that. Okay, but the majority of people we're very compatible too. Like we have the ability to do other things and enjoy a meaning and fulfilled life. But so, and also like people who probably maybe are sexually deprived, for some reason. Maybe it's just like you're fat as fuck, or you need to improve social skills or whatever. The metaverse is just like a cheat sheet, a cheat way to do it. So that's also another thing why I feel like besides data privacy and all that, that's another issue that what's it called, I don't have enough data points to actually give out here, but yeah, that's just another thing that I'm just like a little bit concerned about. Is the main thing I'm concerned about is a for the majority of people, not all of us. There are some people who are willing, who can actually tolerate it. Actually, no, not tolerate, but as in like not fall into the trap. But the majority of men will lose the basic things, as in like discipline, responsibility. When you're responsible enough and when you have these self values, you can eventually lead to freedom. But to get to freedom, it requires responsibility. Some people don't want responsibility. The metaverse, kind of gets rid of it. You can go to concerts virtually. You can probably buy homes and feel like like entrepreneur, like real estate investor. You're fucking not. Fucking not. Because like once you take off the goggles, it's like, oh well, just a little fucking loser on the couch. No. And for the majority of us, not all of us, because there are some people who can probably not fall into the trap, but still go in there. I do believe there's a handful of people who can do that, but the majority of us no. But that's the one thing that I am a little bit worried about is, the lack of the sheer amount of people who will be deprived of responsibility, just taking matters into their own hands and just letting someone, fix it all for them by just giving them like, some cheap shot. And the unfortunate thing also is another thing. If I know this is going to sound very weird for some people, but I don't care. The one thing that I could see the metaverse, absolutely destroying people in general is just like, pornography could definitely combine with the metaverse. That is just going to kill people. Like, no, that's like instant gratification on steroids. Combine the metaverse with the pornography that we have today. So many people are going to get hooked on it. So many people who are sexually deprived. Well, there you go. There's your cheap shot. Like, you're not going to speak to people anymore. Like, you don't have to try. You can just do that, and you'll never leave. It's kind of sad. And it is kind of painful in some ways. Like, you just lost all the responsibility, you just lost all credibility, you just lost all self-discipline, and you lose your freedom. And and I think, it's just like these ideas of mine that, probably could, that Facebook may be concerned about, or maybe not. I'm probably just, just one kid. But yeah, it's also another thing. It's like, for all those investors out there, if you want to invest in something, if pornography mixes with the metaverse, there you go. That thing's gonna blow up. So invest in there. But apart from that, that's just like the main concerns in general is you could make money in there. You could make profit out there, which some people will do. So I mean, at least it's not a total waste of time. And no, I'm not saying that. And also, like, I mean, if you want, have a bit of a social life in the metaverse, that's okay. But what I mean by that, like, I really don't. As in, like, it should probably only be if you really want to, once a week, 1 hour, 1 hour a week. That's all. More of that, you're just going to become addicted to it. So it's like, don't. We already have enough. We already have enough people who already give enough hope, and just like, are on their phones or computer screens for a lot. You don't need to fall into this next Trojan horse. For the majority, I am mostly against it in general. Like, I mean, I'm mostly just against the metaverse in general. I would never go. Mostly because, I want my freedom. I want my freedom, which involves, responsibility of, my own physical health, my mental health, my social circle and intentions, purpose, all that. Like, I'm not going to give that away that easily. So if you really wanted Facebook, come on, make a better algorithm, because I haven't logged on into Facebook for like 2 years. So, and plus, I'll be honest, Facebook doesn't intrigue me that much. Maybe once I'm like 50 or 60, maybe I'll go on there, but it's like, doesn't grab that much. So I think I don't even know if I have a Facebook account. Maybe I do, but I don't know. Probably might need to check that so I don't get my information leaked after I post this. But yeah, that's just the main thing. It's the lack of how many people will lose responsibility and some discipline, just be able to take matters into their hands, take their own principles, take their own values with them. And you're just going to be replacing them with something that that can fulfill you. So if there's one thing that I should take away from this, it's delayed gratification for those people who get addicted to it will no longer exist to them. The metaverse is literally a bunch of instant gratification. Once you remove that helmet, or sorry, once you remove the Oculus headset, how are you going to get your instant gratification? Delayed gratification, which is like, you work to get something that, will compound time, but that will be non-existent for the majority of people. So like maybe what, 10 to 20% of the remaining people who aren't hooked onto the metaverse, like you're the ones left to the ones that actually matter. Um, so you know, that's just my perspective on all of this. Agree or disagree, whatever you want. But yeah, I'll be back with another recording next week in English because I'm going to be making a couple in different language. But other than that, that's it. See you.